This one's really good. It's the best of all the Psikyo games I've covered on my channel thus far, and it's on the Psikyo Shooting Library Volume 1, and it's Strikers 1945 2. We covered Strikers 1945 1 last time. So let's talk about this. So I did one credit clear this on the Switch. It was playable on the Switch. It was one of the better games on the Switch version, but it was just like I one credit cleared it on like the easier difficulties, and I was trying to like build up my skill and work my way up to the higher ones, and it was just too laggy to do that. So I knew this one would go by pretty quickly on the PS4 because I had already like learned how to play the game more or less. I just needed to hone my skills, so to speak. Like I said, this one's better on the PS4, and it's the sequel to Strikers 1945, and it's in this alternate World War II setting with like tanks and battleships and, you know, robots and mechs and giant crabs and all the other normal stuff that the soldiers encountered in World War II. All the stuff we learned about in history class, the giant flying crabs, you know, the downfall of the Allies. Anyway, it's the same gameplay as the other Psikyo games. I've been over this a lot of times. You know, the first 4 of the 8 stages are all randomized. So you play them in any order, not in any order, that it assigns it to you, and you hope you get like a good pattern. And in this time, you have a charge attack that charges up really quickly, but you have to like level it up by killing enemies. So typically, you save your charge attack till the boss, which adds to the gameplay from the first Strikers game where you're trying to like use the charge attack as often as you can. The ships in this are all like great. They're all very feasible. I mean, there are some that are better than the others, like the Hayate, which has like heat-seeking little planes that help you out. But they all have like really cool designs, and they're very varied in the way they work with their shot and their speeds and the way their bombs work. And this game, miraculously, unlike the other Psikyo games, your power-ups don't wear off over time as far as I can tell. So once you stay powered up, you stay powered up, which I love. It lets you focus on the gameplay rather than like chasing power-ups the whole time, trying to not become like super weak and unable to beat a boss. The graphics, you know, they look about the same as the first game, which is cool. It's got like that World War II gritty look to it, but I like the way this looks. There are many shmups that are in this style, you know, and I think this pulls it off pretty well. But I will say this, the music in this game is greatly improved, like really improved over the other Psikyo games I've covered thus far, and way improved over Strikers 1945 Part 1. It really rocks this time, and there are a couple really good tracks that are very catchy, which is uncommon for these Psikyo games, so that was a very welcome change. I mean, this game like improves over the other ones. You know, the stages are more well thought out, and the Psikyo random level system works well in this game. Their whole gameplay style just, they kind of came into its own during this game, I would say. And I love how short and compact the stages are. You can blow through the whole game in like 20 or 30 minutes, and that helps a lot. But like all the other games on this compilation, it's not perfect. I mean, the arcade game's great, but in modern compilations, we're expecting extras, and this game has no save states. It has no training modes as usual. You know, you jump in, and if you want to work on that last boss, you've got to play all the way through the game to have a shot at it. And in Psikyo games, when you get to the last 4 stages, if you die or have to continue, you go back to the beginning of the stage. It's not like you don't respawn where you died. So like practicing a boss is a real chore, and with all these games the same thing happens. Like you become a master at like 98% of the game, and then that last 2% will just waste you. You'll lose all your lives, and like you have to play through the whole flipping game again. So it forces you to almost like practice on an emulator, which I hate to say that, and then like come to your PS4 version to you know, unlock the achievement or trophies or whatever, or actually beat it on the system, you know, to get on the leaderboards. But there are no leaderboards on this, so it doesn't even matter anyway. So this one, I've mentioned that the Psikyo games on this compilation, the difficulty levels, of which there are 7 in every game, they go from monkey all the way up to like super hard. The difficulty levels in this are like evenly paced, but they're still huge jumps. The difficulty level of this one over Strikers 1945 1 is greatly increased, like it's much harder, But like bumping it up to the next difficulty, like 2 out of 7, was way harder, like so much harder. It didn't even feel like it was twice as tough. It felt like it was maybe 4 times as tough. And then I was able to one credit clear that after some practice, and then bumping it up to the next one was like, you know, half again as hard. It's just a huge ramp up. And without those save states, without some sort of training mode, this is a tall order for somebody that isn't just already like an expert at this. Because back in the day, you know, you go to the arcade and you would just pump quarters into the machine, like, and spend $5,000 mastering a game. Like that's falling to the wayside, guys. We don't need to do that. Any developers out here, if you're going to bring an arcade game over to a modern console, don't make us like play through the game over and over and over again like we're pumping in quarters in the old day. You've already got our money. Like, you already have it. Just give us some save states and give us some like training modes or something so we can practice like that one mid-boss that keeps taking all our lives without having to play the same crap that we've done over and over and over again. So, after that mini rant, you know, Strikers 1945-2 is considered by many to be one of the best, if not like the best, Psikyo shooting game, and I would have to agree. This game it's still featured on like the Shmups Forum Best Shmups of All Time list, and it's updated every year, and it has stayed on there for like a decade and a half or something like that. So people love this game. I do think it's really great, and I just wish it was in a better package, you know, with save states and stuff that we're expecting. So Strikers 1945-2, very good shoot 'em up. I wish it had, like I said, some training modes or something like that, but still great, still fun to play, and it plays well on the PS4. Strikers 1945-2 is an 8 out of 10. Congratulations, Psikyo, you did it. You got an 8 out of 10 game. Now, I do believe I gave Strikers 1945-1 an 8 out of 10 as well. This is better than that one. I would say that one's like an 8.0. This is like an 8.5. It's slightly better, but not quite good enough to get up into that like amazing 9 out of 10 level. Not quite yet. It's like A tier, not S tier.